welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me for today's video. And today's video is going to be a Day of the Dead themed video, or Dia de los Muertos as I grew up knowing it. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it was very popularized by the movie Coco. If you guys haven't seen that movie, I definitely recommend it. It is such a cute movie and it will touch your heart, I swear. But it also does a very good job at explaining what Day of the Dead is, at least from what I grew up knowing it to be. So as you guys know, both of my parents are from Mexico. I was born here in the US, but I'm so thankful that they both made it a priority for me and my siblings to grow up with a lot of the Mexican tradition in our home, as much as they made it possible for us to grow up with American traditions. So I'm very grateful that they did that. And yeah, I'm sorry that I get a little bit emotional throughout this video. As you guys know, my dad passed away last year, and this is the second time that I am celebrating the Day of the Dead in his honor. So as much as I think it is a beautiful tradition, and I went back and forth whether I wanted to share this video with you guys, I think that it is so beautiful to honor someone you love so much in these different ways that I'm going to show you guys in this video. So I just want to give you guys a little bit of backstory as to how it was celebrating Day of the Dead when I was growing up. So when I was a child, we actually didn't celebrate Halloween. That was just a personal religious choice that my parents made for us. And instead, we would celebrate Day of the Dead on Halloween night. So what we would do is, my mom worked at a bilingual school. So again, that school did such an amazing job at keeping a lot of our Mexican traditions at the core of their curriculum. So they had a big event for Day of the Dead where we would go and we would get Day of the Dead bread. So pan de muertos is what it's called in Spanish. We would do like art, we would get little like sugar skulls and we would decorate them, all of which I've tried to incorporate into this video so you guys can understand what this tradition involves. But then we would take everything home, and on Halloween night we would just do an altar. Growing up, the altar was for my grandpa and one of my mom's brothers who have passed away. And it was just such a fun tradition because all of us, like it united like all of us, like my siblings, my mom, my dad, and we would all be like together during that night. We would like build this altar for my grandpa and my uncle, and then you leave an ofrenda, which is basically you leave them treats, because Day of the Dead is believed to be the one day that our loved ones who have gone away to heaven are allowed to come back to earth to visit you. So you leave them treats and you leave them their favorite type of snacks, you leave them water, and you light a candle for them. So that is what we would do. And for today's video, I wanted to show you guys a updated version of the altar. So I decided to do a 2-tier tray version of it for my dad, and I will also be making a traditional Day of the Dead bread and a traditional drink called CHAMPURRADO, which is basically a thickened hot chocolate, which is super yummy. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you guys do, please leave me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you have not. I promise I have some Thanksgiving videos coming up next week, and then we will be getting into Christmas decorating, and it will be such a fun time. So I would really appreciate it if you guys subscribe. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the video. Alrighty friends, so we are gonna get started making the bread, because this bread is definitely a labor of love, but it is totally worth it. And as always, I will go ahead and insert the ingredients on the screen. You guys can pause this video and screenshot it. I will do the same for everything else we will be making in this video. and I will also have it written down in the description box in case that is easier for you guys to follow. But all I did is I mixed all of the ingredients together in this bowl, and then with my freshly washed hands, I started mixing it until I got a dough consistency. Now you guys can see right here, I did go ahead and add some more flour. If you guys find that your dough is a little bit more runny than this consistency, just go ahead and add more flour, even if it's more than what I listed in the ingredients list. But you will know because the consistency again has to be a dough-like consistency. So you guys will see right here, you know it's done when it is not sticking to your hands anymore. And once that happens, you're just gonna go ahead and place it in a bowl with some plastic over top, and you're gonna let this rest for about an hour. And while I go ahead and let that rest for an hour, I did move on to doing an altar for my dad. As you guys saw, this is a modern version of it. I decided to do it in a tiered tray version of it. And yes, you are seeing tequila up on the screen. My dad did love to drink. He was an alcoholic, and although at the time it was sad, I made peace with it, and now it's more of a joke and a memory of him. But I am just showing you right now how I made some of those skulls. So all I did is I used some polymer clay to shape the skull face. I put that in the oven, baked it, and then I'm just using some puffy paint to decorate them. And then this is called papel picado, which is traditional to see it in Mexican Dia de los Muertos altars. So all you do is you get some tissue paper, you fold it a few times or as many times as you want, and you cut certain little shapes out of it. There's some people who are so talented at this, but I am not, so I do simple shape cutouts. And then I took this white tier tray stand I got from Target's Dollar Spot a while back, and I'm just using some puffy paint to decorate this as well, just to give it a little bit more color, since that is very normal in the Day of the Dead tradition, is to use a lot of pop of colors. So now let's go ahead and get to the decorating. As usual, in these altars, you want to have a picture of the person you are honoring. In this case, like I said, it is for my dad. So I found this picture. It's missing my baby brother, but he was born way later, so I only found this one. And then I am putting a Coke on it because, again, the whole purpose of this is to leave them treats that they will enjoy when they come back to Earth. So like I said, I am putting some tequila bottles. He really loved soda with tequila and ice, so I figured that would be a nice little treat to leave out. And then you guys will see that I am just filling up the tray with some flowers as well as some of his favorite candies. So I am using obleas, a caramel pop, as well as a mazapan, which is basically a peanut treat, and these were his favorite candies. You could always find one of these in his nightstand. He had such a big sweet tooth, just like I do, so anytime I wanted a candy, I knew to just go and look in his nightstand. But then I am placing these cute little skulls that I decorated throughout the tray, and then I'm just gonna fill up the empty space with some more flowers as well as some tissue paper, and that is basically it for what I did for this tray. I also made sure to include some candles towards the back because it is tradition to light a candle for them the night before they make their trip back to Earth, just so they can find you, is the belief behind it. So it's such a beautiful belief and tradition, and I hope to be able to keep doing this even though it's a bit sad for me. I want to continue doing this because I love the tradition, and I think it will be very neat to have my future kids know about their grandpa this way and know about the things he liked this way. And I'm sorry if you hear the cracking in my voice. It's very hard to talk about it still, but Yeah, I hope you guys like how this little altar tray came out. I definitely do, and I'm pretty sure my dad will enjoy the treats when he comes back on Day of the Dead.
So go ahead and leave it. I don't know what's on your mind, and there's no way I can fix it. But you're also leaving me behind. Just a few more hours, you'll be on your way, like dancing on a wire. Oh, how I try to make you stay. Won't you stay? Won't you stay?
Okay, now moving back to the bread, once it has rested for about an hour, you're gonna go ahead and just break it up into as many sections as you want. This is enough for 4 sections. They're gonna be quite smaller, probably individual sized, but I decided to just go ahead and break it up into 2 sections and keep one for me and Jonathan, and I did take one to my mom later on that afternoon. But all you do is, as you saw, I broke half a section, and then in that section I took a little piece to make a little ball, 2 pieces to make 2 long strands, and then the rest was a little ball in itself. I'm not exactly sure why this is the pattern or the way they lay the dough, but this is a traditional Dia de los Muertos bread, so I am just following what I know about it. And yeah, it's a little bit funny looking, but again, this is exactly how they make it, and honestly at the end of the day it tastes delicious, so it's okay. But then you're just gonna let that rest, and while we let that rest, we did go ahead and move on to making the champurrado, which again is just a thickened Mexican hot chocolate. And all you're gonna need, again, I will pop up the ingredients, and I was just showing you that the piloncillo, which is what I just held up, actually I cut it in half. You can find that at your local Mexican spot. And then I did use chocolate abuelita, which again you guys can find at your local Mexican shop. Use a cinnamon stick, some cloves, and some water, and I'm gonna let this dissolve over heat for a while. It probably took maybe like 10 minutes, and I stirred occasionally. And then I moved on to making the masa part of it, which I am just using this Maseca and some water and making a paste out of it. It will be like a pancake mix consistency. Super simple. All you have to do is mix it, and once that is done, that part of it is completely done, and we can move on to the next step. But when I was done mixing this, the other mixture was already boiling, so this is how it looked. You just want to make sure to scrape off everything off of the sides just so it doesn't burn. But then moving on to the following part, all you're gonna do is you're gonna mix your evaporated milk, your milk, the chocolate and piloncillo mixture that you made. You want to make sure you strain that though, because we did use whole cloves as well as the cinnamon stick and so on, so you don't want that to end up in your hot chocolate. And then you're going to mix all of that together, and then you're going to start pouring that pancake like mixture that we made little by little. The heat will help dissolve this, and then you're going to keep mixing this until it boils. You guys will see that the pancake like mixture that we made is going to completely dissolve, but this is what gives it that like thick texture, and it is amazing. I absolutely love this drink, and I promise you guys, you will like it as well. Definitely try it out, and if you do, tag me on Instagram. But this paired with the Day of the Dead bread tastes amazing. So by now the bread has rested for an additional 45 minutes, so I went ahead and I put this in the oven at 320 degrees Fahrenheit, and I just waited about 25 minutes for it to cook and rise. And once it was done, this is how it looks. I just went ahead and put some melted butter over top as well as some sugar, and that was it. I know the bread looks a little bit funny. I'm actually not the best at making the shape of the bread, but it still tastes delicious. And again, not sure why they decide to go with this shape. I definitely probably should look into it, but it is a traditional, like I said. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and pour some champurrado and have Jonathan do the official taste testing that you guys know he loves to do. So let's go ahead and see what he says. As per usual, Jonathan's going to be the taste tester. So here's your champurrado, and here's a little bit of bread.
Pretty good.
Is it good?
Tastes like orange, huh?
It's supposed to taste like
very
orange.
good.
Very good? Nice.
Yeah, baby.
Good. Yay. That one came out a little bit like a lopsided, but
Fine.
yay. Alrighty everyone, well that is everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope this gave you guys some insight into a beautiful Mexican tradition, which is Day of the Dead. And I hope you guys decide to make the drink and the bread, because they are definitely so yummy and delicious, and I 100% recommend them. And yeah, until next time, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Won't you